one of 5 people to beat him. And it's Alberto Davila from Pomona, California. It was here, June of 1979, that Guadalupe Pintor defeated his stablemate and countryman, Carlos Zarate, for the championship at 118 pounds. It was one of those kind of fights that partisans will talk about forever. There were an awful lot of people who thought that Zarate had retained his championship, but it was Pintor who got the split decision, and tonight he makes his 4th defense of the 118-pound title against Davila. Davila beat Pintor back in 1976. You know, the Americans have not had a whole lot of success at 118 pounds. Manuel Ortiz from 1942 to 1950 pretty well dominated it. But Davila tonight can become only the 3rd American to hold this championship if he can dethrone Pintor. Jeff Chandler of Philadelphia won the WBA version of this title just recently over Solis. The big story about Lupe Pintor goes back to September, when in his 3rd title defense against Johnny Owen of Wales, the 12th round, Owens went down in the fight. He subsequently had an operation for a blood clot on the brain and eventually succumbed to those injuries. And obviously it shook Lupe Pintor considerably, but he has been able to restore his confidence. He has gone back to training very hard. He has gone through 90 rounds to prepare for this title defense against Davila, because he knows full well Davila is a worthy challenger. The tail of the tape reads this way: Davila at 26 and the champion at 25, and Pintor holds a decided edge in reach as well as height. 5'4.5" in height for the champion. He has an edge of just about 3 inches in reach, so that might become important as the bout wears on. The referee for this fight tonight is Carlos Padilla out of Las Vegas. He will not have a ballot. The 3 judges are Anselmo Escobedo of Venezuela, Custodio Tovar of Mexico, and Dwayne Ford of Las Vegas. The 3 judges are the gentlemen who will do the voting. Lupe Pintor ready for his 4th defense of his WBC Bantamweight Championship. The champion is wearing the gold trunks, the challenger Davila from Pomona, California, born in Texas. And it's something a little different for Alberto to be the king of the hill in Pomona, because for so long he was in the shadow of someone, and that someone in particular, of course, was Superfly Alberto Sandoval, whom Pintor stopped in 12 rounds in a defense. It was probably the champion's most impressive outing in defense of his title. Lupe Pintor is a classic Mexican fighter, if I can use that phrase, in that he brings a left hook, and every good fighter out of that part of the country, he's trained by Julio Hernandez, brings a wicked hook, and they use it constantly to the body. But he is also a young man who just brings a body full of courage, and he is rated among those at this weight one of the heavier hitters. The bout scheduled for 15 rounds, 10-point must system in scoring. Alberto Davila giving away about 3 inches in reach and 2 inches in height. And I can remember back in February of 1978 when we here at ABC Sports covered his bout with Carlos Zarate at the Forum in Los Angeles. He was carrying the fight to the great Zarate until the 8th round, when a wicked left hook took him out of the fight. He has had 2 opportunities for a championship, the other against Jorge Lujan in New Orleans in September of 1978. He lost a split decision in that one by 15 rounds. Davila was originally scheduled for a bout against Alfonso Zamora, but that one fell through. So really, he's trained something like 200 rounds coming into this bout against Pintor. And of course, Benny Giorgino and Jackie McCoy, who's working with Benny, they're concerned about his having worked for so long without any real action. Saw the champion at the very beginning go to the body big with the left hook. But since that time, in the early going, Davila has been able to negate the left hook. You can see the time now approaching 10 seconds to go in round number 1. This for the World Boxing Council 118 was the best punch of the first round by Alberto Davila, a chopping left hook to the side of the head. Round 2 from Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The WBC Bantamweight Championship on the line. Lupe Pintor in the gold trunks from the hill country outside of Mexico City, defending against Texas-born Alberto Davila, who now lives in Pomona, California. The left hook for the champion was blocked. However, the challenger Davila did land his left hook. So the left hand for both men, so far, the primary weapon. Just to very quickly refresh you the rules of the WBC, 10-point must, referee doesn't score, no 3 knockdown rule, mandatory 8 count, no standing counts, and the bell will not save you except in the final round. And this one is scheduled for 15. Again, Davila able to pick off the left hook thrown by the champion to the side of the head. Carlos Padilla of Las Vegas is the referee. In a lot of ways, I think a 15-round fight, if it goes the difference, is a little bit like a baseball season. Even though the points scored early, and even though the games won early, count all the way. And at the end of the season, it is the scoring that is done and the games that are won late that create the biggest impression. And I think that had a great deal to do with Pintor's victory over Zarate. An awful lot of people still argue about that particular one, but it was Pintor who came straight at Zarate throughout the fight, exhibiting tremendous courage, and he finished very strong, and he got the decision from 2 of the 3 judges. I don't think either man came into this fight as a good left hand by Davila. Snapped the champion's head back, expecting this fight to be short. It would be an untoward moment if it turned out to be a short fight. So neither, I think, is quite willing to risk themselves too soon. The overhand right scores again off the side of the head of the champion by Davila. Alberto now is reaching Pintor. Davila, good combinations inside, and this is what has marked Davila's 5 successive knockouts that he has run up in his 12 straight victories since losing to Lujan. He has been throwing combinations inside and scoring effectively. The hard right hand by Davila rattles Pintor. Inside 10 seconds to go in round 2 that has belonged to the challenger. Round 3, and let me say that Julio Hernandez had some very strident conversations with his man, the champion Pintor, during the minute we're away, because Davila really took it to him in the second round, and especially in the last minute of the second round. This is round 3 for the World Boxing Council Bantamweight Championship. There's a little chopping left hand to the side of the head, and then the quick left jab to the face of the champion by Davila. So Alberto scoring. Pintor not able to reach his man as much as he would like. His left hand has been picked off quite a bit. The left hook that he likes to throw. He was throwing it in the first minute of the first round at the body and scoring with it. But then he switched to the head and he hasn't been able to get much out of it. Now he seems to be going back to the body. Howard Cosell, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, and their story. Their story that is already legendary. Coming up right after this fight. Beat the champion to the punch as Pintor tried to set himself to throw the hook inside. Davila beat him. No marks on either man so far. Ooh, that's a wicked shot by Pintor to the body. But there's a combination inside. As challenger Davila went to the head off the inside move, and he scored with both hands. Right hand by Pintor It's the first effective combination the champion has thrown. Right hand by Davila just missed. Coming up on a half minute to go in round number 3, and a right hand to the body by Pintor. Hard right hand by Davila. Pintor wobbles. Davila scores with the following combination. Doesn't go wild. He has good pace. He's been around. 15 seconds to go. The champion's in trouble. Good uppercut by Pintor, though. Backs Davila off just a little. Pintor will weather the finish of the round. It was another good round for history of knockout before he ran off the string. But Benny Giorgino, who has put his game together, says that it's a result of 2 or 3 things. One is maturity and greater strength. 3, it is confidence in his ability. And perhaps the most important of them all is that he has learned to control his emotions and throw the combinations inside. That's exactly what he's done tonight against Lupe Pintor. Davila is good with a jaw of Pintor. Leonard Duran's story follows this fight. Howard Cosell and Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. Roberto from Miami, Sugar Ray is with Howard in Los Angeles. Good left hand, snaps the challenger's head back as Pintor finds him. And he has some authority in that left hand. Davila, rated by most people in this business, the better boxer. Pintor, the harder hitter. Good right hand to the midsection, but Davila, but he comes back to the head and is picked off by Pintor. Those punches by Lupe blocked. Good left hand by Davila. It's a tough fight. Right hand comes over the top of Davila, but Pintor counters with his own. The left hook is blocked. Half a minute to go. Round 4. Davila seems to be pacing himself a little in this round. Champion has not been able to penetrate with any degree of success. Good uppercut at the end of 4. Round 5. WBC Bantamweight Championship, 118 pounds. Alberto Davila, Pomona, California, challenging Lupe Pintor of Mexico. Champions in the gold trucks to your left there. And we're coming live from Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Just an unofficial comment. At this juncture, the challenger has had a very strong outing. Both the champion, however, began to take it a little bit in the last round. This is scheduled for 15, and now it is Davila. Quick inside and finding his target. He missed on 3, but that 4th punch, the left hand, got the champion. Might be a bit of a mark inside the right eye, between the eye and the nose of the champion Pintor. Lupe Lupe very early on in the first round came out and scored 3 times with a left hook to the body. But since that time, he has not been able to find it. Like that now. Davila just quick enough to get away from him. They last met February 25. 10-rounder, and Davila won it. This is his 3rd try at a Bantamweight Championship. I'd like to alert our local stations along the line. We'll take a station break at the end of this round. There's the left hook by Pintor. That time it found Davila. Hard right hand. Some of the sting taken out of it, however, as Davila was moving away. Again, the combinations inside by the challenger. Good left hand by Davila. Keeps popping it home. Hard right to the side of the head by Davila. Pintor shakes it off. Keeps looking for his target. Right now, Davila has gone back to his game of beating the champion to the punch. Hard right hand by Davila again. We'll have more championship boxing from Caesar's Palace after this word from our local station. Round number 6, a troubled champion, Lupe Pintor, comes out against Alberto Davila. Pintor in the 5th round may have given you some indication as to what we can expect. He's not that fearful of being severely damaged, apparently, by Davila. He was willing to keep looking and keep coming and keep looking and keep coming, and he got a welt over his left eye as a result of it. Roberto Duran is in Miami, Florida. He had just come over from Panama today, struggling with the flu, we're told, standing by with his people. Sugar Ray Leonard is with Howard Cosell in Los Angeles. We will have their story, their first fight and the second fight, and all of the action told by Howard in their second bout for you just as soon as this one is completed in Las Vegas. This one is a pretty fair-sized war between two 118-pounders. Pintor, the champion in gold, Davila, the challenger, in the black trunks. There's that short, stinging left hand that Davila's been able to penetrate with throughout the fight. It is the long, looping left hook by Pintor that has not reached his man, as the challenger keeps slipping inside with combinations. 3rd round, he really rattled Pintor, almost decked him. Ooh, good right hand right in the breadbasket. Now Pintor starts to find the body a little bit with the left hook. But in doing so, Davila is making him pay for it. He's just standing right there with him, toe-to-toe, and he's rat-a-tatting him with those inside combinations. The champion has beaten that left hook to the body. But I'm not surprised that Davila wouldn't come out of this exchange with a 2-to-1 edge. Challenger Davila scoring with a straight, hard right to the head of the champion Pintor. In end of round 6. Alberto Davila coming out, wearing the black trunks, the champion Lupe Pintor, in the gold Carlos Padilla from Las Vegas is the referee. It's been a very good fight. You can almost always tell it's a good fight because we've scarcely noticed the presence of Carlos Padilla. That is also the mark of a good official. There's that left hand again, but Davila, he has really been peppering Pintor with it all night long. And the inside combinations, it gets inside, and he's never out of there without throwing at least 4 punches. The champion catches him with a right hand on the jaw that time. It's still a close enough fight to be very, very much in doubt. But in the early going, I think Davila has been most impressive. The champion was almost down at the close of the 3rd round from a right hand, a left actually, and then a right. Pintor did not quite get him. The right hand was just on the shoulder, and the part of the left hook was picked off. It's that kind of punching that has made Pintor the fearsome warrior that he is and the WBC champion. Remember, I told you earlier, he's a guy who comes with a body full of courage, and he will take you all the way, just as he did Zarate. Right hand by Davila again, but this time the champion has shook it off. We know that Pintor can take some shots. Zarate hit him like a fallen wall a couple of times, and he shook it off. And he keeps coming. 10-point must. 3 judges do the scoring. The 3 judges. One is from Venezuela, one is from Mexico, and one is from Las Vegas. Good right hand for the champion. Good left hand for the challenger. Pintor keeps digging that left to the body. Left off the forehead by Pintor. Snaps Davila's head back. Right hand just missed. Left did not. It scored. Pintor's best round so far. So we've gone through 7 rounds in our championship bout here. Thank you very much. Lupe Pintor in the corner. Cuyo Hernandez, his manager and trainer, continuing some very strident conversation. And in the meantime, across the ring, Alberto Davila goes into round number 8, and I would think ahead on most of the cards. But the champion looked pretty strong in round 7, his best round of the fight so far. Still no real marks on either man. Davila's been able to beat the champion to the punch. He's getting off just in front of Pintor quite a bit so far. And particularly effective inside. The general feeling among the Pintor camp people in it, if Davila did in fact go to the champ as aggressively as he's done during his string of 5 successive knockouts, then Pintor might eat him up. So far, Davila has gone inside and survived it well, though the champion now seemingly gaining strength, ripping away to the body, trying to bring the defense down. See, once in a while, Pintor really tries to load it up. very strong here in round 8. Davila, and then Davila with a short chopping right. Rattles Pintor inside. Again, those combinations. Again, he goes left, right, and gets Pintor and hits him with the left, and again with the right. You can see that Pintor is not fearful of a whole lot of damage inside. He keeps forcing it. Right hand by Pintor. But Davila comes back with a combination left and right to the head. End of round 8. WBC Bantamweight Championship. Davila, the challenger. Pomona, California. Alberto in black. Lupe Pintor from Mexico in the gold. Pintor's 4th defense. He had a draw over 15 rounds with Murata in Tokyo, keeping his title. He defeated Alberto Sandoval. A hard right hand, and Davila, for the first time, was truly rattled as he came with a sweeping right hand and it caught him right on the side of the head. And for just a moment, Davila got a bit wild. Pintor in round 7 and round 8. Seemingly the stronger, almost disdainful at time of Davila's punching. And he's out here in round number 9 with the same apparent attitude. But Davila sets him back just a bit with that right hand. In the Sandoval fight, Superfly was just simply did not hit hard enough or could not hit hard enough to keep Pintor off him. Now we're beginning to wonder whether or not Alberto Davila will be able to be strong enough in the late rounds to keep the champion away. Alfonso Zamora that didn't happen. As a result, he's had some 200 rounds of training since his last fight. They were worried about whether or not he might tend to be a bit flat for this one. So far he is not. But Pintor brings that right hand over the top and gets it well placed along the right side of the head. Local stations, we will be taking our station break at the end of this round. Final half minute of round number 9. Pintor now is sort of beginning to dominate the pace. I mean to suggest he's dominating the fight, but he is beginning to control the pace a bit. Coming up on the end of round 9. And we'll have more championship boxing from Caesar's Palace after this word from our local station. Round 10. I sort of have the feeling that Pintor might have won the last 3 rounds. Pretty much even this thing up. Here's the stronger right now. Though Davila sitting in the corner seemed calm, composed, relaxed. But it's the champion that's beginning to load it up a little bit. They come banging together, and it looked for a moment like they might have butted heads, but I guess not. exchanging. Nothing really decisive. Both men, their mouths are open. That tells you they're sucking some fresh air, looking for some energy. Start chewing on that mouthpiece. That starts to tell you a little bit that they're looking for a little more air. Quick little left hand to the champion's jaw by Davila. He's lost some of his sharpness. Champion rattles in with that left hook. Crossing right hand, another right hand. Davila comes right back with a combination. Well, if you enjoy boxing, the pure professional skill of it, from two game fellows you're looking at. Terrific. Hard right hand by Pintor. Another right hand by Pintor. Davila stays inside. Another right hand by Pintor. Davila backing away inside, but he has been stung by 3 hard right hands in this round. Hard right to the body by Pintor. The right hand just missed by the champion. Champion's a little wild in the closing seconds of round 10. Bantamweight Championship bout here at Caesars Palace. This is round 11, and frankly, Davila looks a little tired now. He's lost some of his sharpness, I feel. But with 5 rounds to go, there is time for resurgence. Good straight left by Davila, right on the nose of the champion. Davila needs a flurry. He's going to have to back up Pintor a little bit. Saw him come out early with that intent. The champion just slipped away from him. Hard right for Davila. That'll back him up. There's been a whole lot of popping off from either one of these fighters during the course of the week. They both expressed a good deal of respect for each other. You can now see why. For the first time in the fight, Carlos Padilla steps in to say something to Pintor. Dragged an elbow across the challenger's neck. They butted heads that time. It's the shortest route to a cut. Both men have been cut. It was a cut that stopped Davila's challenge to Zarate. Davila works well that time inside with a combination, scored 3 punches. Good left hand by Davila. Coming up on 20 seconds to go in round 11. There's that right uppercut, sort of a half hook, half uppercut by Pintor that found Davila coming in. Champion missed that time. 11 rounds complete. '76 and Bazarate in 1978. Jackie McCoy is in the corner working with Benny Giorgino, and it was Jackie McCoy who had managed and trained Alberto Sandoval, who was stopped by Pintor in February of this year. Lupe Pintor has been stopped one time, December of '79, on a cut by a local fighter in Hermosillo, Manuel Vasquez. Lupe thought enough of that one to go home laughing about it, but it's still the only time that he has been stopped by a minor cut. The champion lands a good straight left hand to the face of Davila at the beginning of round number 12. Davila trying to stay busy, trying to keep his combinations going. The busier he is, the less likely it is that Pintor will be able to load up and land the big blow. The champion continues to be a bit wild, and when you miss punches like that, you spend energy. Now we've got a cut over the left eye, in the eyebrow over the left eye of Alberto Davila. It's on the outside portion, right in the eyebrow. See it now, just starting to leak a little. Good solid right hand by Pintor will not help the cut either. Jackie McCoy is good as anybody at handling this kind of a problem. You see that the Pintor is now finding him. He's hit him 4 times with the right hand right on the cut area. Doesn't appear to be a very bad cut, however. Pintor ripping away. Davila tries to fight back inside. Little short left hook inside, but Davila's all right. Beats Pintor to the punch that time with the left hook. We look closely at the left eye of Davila. You can see now being marked some by the cut. The outside corner of the eyebrow. It's the 12th round, and it is tough. Both men just ripping away, leveling at each other. Another hard right hand by Pintor. The champion throwing the heavier blows. Davila throwing the greater number. Both men, mouths open. Both getting tired. Both game. Champion rocked a little by the left hook, and another left by Davila. He comes right back with a short right. Davila gets outside, gets away from Pintor. Lupe's able to find him with the right hand where he has damaged that left eye, the cut area. He's working on it again. Davila with a good right hand to the champion's head. Davila finishing strong. Inside the corner of the right eye, but not so. Now let's see whether or not Davila's repair work will hold up in round 13. Immediately following the decision of this WBC championship bout, we'll be switching to Howard Cosell, who will spend the rest of the evening with you as you have a chance to see the Duran-Leonard second fight and talk between those two men and the people who surround them. Get the direct story of what happened in their second fight. Truly one of the sports stories of this year. Davila with that cut in the corner of the left eyebrow. No sign of it being reopened as yet. He's been able to stay away from the overhand right of Pintor. That right hand scored, but it was not on the cut area by the champion. Now a short chopping right inside. Again, that half uppercut, half hook That's about the 5th time he has hit Davila cleanly with it. Alberto gets inside and works him with a combination to the head, particularly the left hook. Halfway through round 13. Champion with about a 3-inch advantage in the reach. Scores well right there. And again, the champion scores well. Pintor comes to the left, right. Davila fights back. The cut has not been reopened as yet. Wild. Coming up on the end of round 13, they continue the torrid pace. Donnybrook here tonight. Speaking of scrappers, how about this fella? Angel Cordero. Angel, who's taking a little time and watching the fight tonight. One of the great jockeys of his generation. Here we go to round 14. Champion comes out, the more aggressive, but Davila skips away from him. Let's see now whether Alberto Davila can regain some of the momentum that he held in rounds 5 and 6. Pretty good right hand by both men. Davila a little bit busier on that exchange. Apparently got that cut under control at the corner of the left eyebrow. Whoa. Good right for the champion, good left for the challenger. Davila almost dropped Pintor in the 3rd round. But in the 7th round, Pintor started to get a little more pace in his attack. And he's been strong ever since. Don't mean to suggest that he's won all the rounds at all. 10-point plus scoring system, 3 judges will cast the ballots. Catches Davila coming in and just levels on him. A left, and then a left-right. Davila looks tired. The heavier blows belong clearly to Pintor at this juncture. Pintor taking it to Davila. For the first time in the fight, the champion appears to have the challenger in trouble. But in the closing seconds of round 14, the game Davila from Pomona fights back. For the moment, his punches have lost their sting. Hard right hand by Pintor. One round to go. Davila does not have the big punch, though he has won his last 5 fights by knockout. The right hand miss by Pintor, but Davila scored with his left. Inside, it's pop, pop, pop by Davila. But the heavier tools seemingly now belong to Lupe Pintor. This is the final round. The cut has been reopened in the corner of the left eyebrow of Alberto Davila. Interesting to watch the concentration of Pintor now. Even in the 15th round, he seems reasonably fresh. Very much in it. Now it is he who's getting off a little quicker. Nobody ever said that Davila was short on courage. He's still coming. The cut reopened, though it seems to be no particular problem. Carlos Padilla, a good referee, has not called for a look at it. Very little seepage now. Pintor pressing the fight in the final minute. Pintor doubling up. "45 seconds. These are two professional fighters, Lupe Pintor, the champion, Alberto Davila, who have given a great dose of dignity to their profession tonight. It's been a good one. It's over. 118-pound championship bout. Lupe Pintor defending against this man right here, Alberto Davila. We will stay for the decision. Then we will very quickly join Howard Cosell, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision. Judge Anselmo Escobedo scores 143 Pintor, 142 Davila. Judge Dwayne Ford scores 143 Pintor, 143 Davila. Judge Custodio Tovar scores 146, 142 in favor of the winner by majority decision, and still the bantamweight champion of the world, Lupe Pintor.
So there are your decisions. The Venezuelan judge had it 143, 142 Pintor. Tovar, the Mexican judge, had 146, 142. And Ford, the American judge, had it 143, 143, all even. So Lupe Pintor continues as the World Boxing Council's bantamweight champion. And the Pintor Davila fight from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, being brought to you tonight by Budweiser.